I believe in the Second Amendment of the Constitution and believe as the United States Supreme Court has found it to be an individual right for, of, and by the people of our great country. I believe in the defense of your life, the life of others, and the protection of your home and what's inside it through the use of firearms. With the ownership of firearms comes a greater responsibility for the person whom chooses to exercise the right to keep and bear arms. What I'm referring to is the responsible ownership and the correct storage of firearms within the home environment. My name is Lucas Pace. Today I want to speak to you about how to safely handle a firearm, be it a handgun or a long gun. I want to speak to you about the safe storage of your firearms within the home. And finally, I want to speak to you about the options you have for storing your firearms while still being able to access them in short order if the need would arise. Let's start by looking at how to safely handle a firearm within your home and frankly anywhere else you may be. According to the National Rifle Association, there are 3 basic firearms handling rules that should be followed in most situations. My son and I, Caleb, had checked all weapons to make sure they were clear before we started, just to let everyone know. The first rule is to keep the firearm pointed in a safe direction. Caleb, please demonstrate that for us. What I mean by this is to keep the firearm, the muzzle end, pointed away from any object you're not willing to shoot or destroy. Caleb's now checking the weapon again to make sure it's empty and clear of a magazine or ammunition. The weapon's clear. Caleb is holding the firearm in a direction that's not going to impact any of us standing here, and it's in a generally safe direction. And what I mean by a generally safe direction is if the firearm were to accidentally discharge and a round came out and impacted somewhere, there could be the possibility of ricochet or debris splashing back on us, possibly causing injury to myself or Caleb. So I like to say keep the firearm pointed in a generally safe direction. And what I mean by the firearm is the muzzle end of the firearm, where the bullets want to come out. Okay? Thank you, Caleb. The second rule you should always follow is to keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to shoot. Caleb will again demonstrate this. You want to place your finger along the frame of the firearm out of the trigger guard. You don't want to have your finger in the trigger until you're ready to shoot, whether you're in the field or at home. In the home environment, you're not probably going to be shooting anything, but you want to handle the firearm in the same manner in which you would in the field. So we keep our finger off the trigger until we're ready to shoot, and we know our target. Okay? We don't want any accidental discharges by having a finger in the trigger guard and on the trigger. New shooters have a really hard time with this in trying to keep their finger off the trigger, and people that haven't handled firearms have a hard time with this. And I really stress this to new shooters to keep their finger off the trigger until they're ready to shoot the firearm. So again, we're just handling a firearm. We want to handle the firearm in the same manner in which we would in the field when we were actually shooting it. So you keep your finger bladed along the frame of the firearm. Okay, Caleb? The third rule you should typically follow is to keep your firearm unloaded until you are ready to use them. Here's what I mean by typically. There are some folks that like to keep a firearm loaded for self-defense and the defense of their loved ones within the home. Typically they want easy access to these firearms. They want them to be close at hand, and they want to be able to access them quickly if the need would arise. A firearm locked up in the basement or some other place that's not accessible wouldn't be a very good idea in a home invasion situation. So if you're going to use firearms for self-defense, you need to have it in close proximity to where you're going to be. That's the situation a lot of folks like to have a firearm in close proximity to them. And when I'm referring to people, I'm referring to the law-abiding, responsible people that want to exercise their right to self-defense, not people who want to do you harm through evil deeds. Make sure you check with your state and local authorities and laws regarding firearms use and storage within the home. Go ahead and demonstrate, Caleb, if you would, how to unload and verify a weapon is unloaded. He's done this several times now when he picks up the firearm. Notice the firearm is still in a safe direction. Notice he's still blading his trigger finger on the weapon. Go ahead and verify the weapon is not loaded. He's feeling inside the chamber. He's looking inside the chamber. He's rolling the weapon over to check the magazine. There's no magazine and the weapon's clear. The weapon's clear. Okay? Go ahead and set it down now. Just to reiterate, firearms should be stored unloaded. If possible, engage the safety if it's equipped. Verify firearms are unloaded as soon as you handle one. And remember, the other rules still apply. Don't get lazy now. You don't want an accidental discharge. If you follow these 3 simple rules, you will be a more responsible gun owner and, in my book, a real patriot. Now I want to talk about how firearms should be stored inside the home. There are many ways to safely store your firearms within the home. Let's look at the options available for firearms storage. A safe is a secure and heavy, and it's typically fire resistant. So this is a very heavy object. This safe here weighs about 800 pounds, maybe a little more. It keeps unwanted persons out, and it keeps valuables in. This keeps children out. It keeps people that aren't authorized to get in and out. It's very secure. This is model has bolts that go around the outside and engage with this handle. I have it unlocked right now to show you. You open it. And there's a quick look inside my safe. Now I'm going to shut the safe and I'm going to lock it. Safe's locked now. People that can't get in there aren't going to be able to get in. This is one of the best ways you can secure firearms within the home. It's secure and it's fire resistant. Next thing we want to look at is a gun lock. This is a gun lock inside my M&P firearm. This prevents people from loading magazines inside the weapon, and it prevents the action from closing. And it also prevents a round from being chambered within the firearm. If you're going to store your firearms in this manner, you still need to store them in a safe area, such as a lockable closet or a lockable room. Oh, the room's locked. We're going to lock this room, and I'm going to store this firearm right now. Once again, you can use a lock like that on your weapon, a gun lock, but you want to keep it in a secure location where people can't have access to it. Typically the lock will lock the trigger guard, or it'll lock the action or barrel. Now let's take a look at a quick access firearm storage. This is a quick access firearm storage. This is available for responsible citizens to utilize in their homes. These small safes offer the responsible citizen a secure location to store a firearm, magazine, flashlight, and maybe even a cell phone. What this does, it'll close, and then to operate it, there's a combination. It's tactile, so you don't have to have a combination, and it flies open. There's no combination to remember, no dials to have to see in the dark. This is very easy to get into, and it's quick access. This safe can be secured in different locations throughout the home that are strategically placed, such as in closets or on shelves. There are many small safes available, but this is my favorite. This is a Gun Vault Mini. It's very easy to use. It's easy to access. It's my favorite, once again. In closing today, I talked about the 3 fundamental rules of safe firearms handling, according to the National Rifle Association. I spoke about safe firearm storage within a home environment. And finally, I spoke about how a firearm can be stored for quick access, specifically the Gun Vault Mini. If you would like more information, please visit the National Rifle Association website at www.nrahq.org, or you can visit the National Shooting Sports Foundation's website at www.nssf.org. And if you'd like more information about Gun Vault and their line of products, you can visit their website at www.gunvault.com. I want to thank you and have a great evening.